Right, guys, good morning. It's Friday, August 15th, 2025. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we absolutely love about you. It's Friday, so we're going to be a little bit casual here at the Hat and Beard Show. Today we have a couple of Lions-centric news, because this is ultimately a Detroit Lions content creation station. That's what we're here for. Though we do dabble into the depths of the NFL sporadically, we're going to go ahead over to Yahoo Sports, our leadoff story. NFL training camp live updates. How did the Dolphins respond after, quote, most lopsided practice reporters have ever seen? If you paid attention Wednesday, boy howdy. Well, look, I don't want to sugarcoat it. The Detroit Lions in a joint practice with the Miami Dolphins. Looks like we had some disconnect issues. We've been having some internet issues this morning, fellas. I don't know what the hell's going on or why it's doing that. Good morning, Mr. Broski Bear. How you doing, bud? Good morning, bro chachos. I like that. Mr. Tricity, AOC's Tatas. We'll get to the poll here in a section. Sorry about the connection issues, guys. You just got to bear with me. We've been having some internet problems all morning long, but we're going to make the best of it. It is Friday. We're keeping it cash. Keeping it cash for you guys today on a Friday. Then we're going to go ahead and, after talking about the national news, which happens to be about the Detroit Lions, we're going to go ahead over to one of our favorite places, you guys. We love A to Z Sports, guys. 5 stock up and 3 stock down for Lions after joint practice with the Dolphins. It's sadly over for some guys, but one former Michigan Wolverine might make it. So who do you guys think it might be over for? Who was one of those guys, huh? Let's just say he could go and work on the street corner. You know what I'm saying? All right, then, guys, something we've been paying close attention to. Well, since draft day, you guys have been rocking with us since the pre-draft process. Know how high we've gotten on Detroit Lions second-round draft pick, the big Motor City Mullet, the guy from Georgia, the guy that I said we have got to walk out of this draft with, and that is Tater Ratledge, the Motor City Mullet from Pride of Detroit. Dan Campbell, Tate Ratledge playing, quote, like a starting NFL guard. That is something you absolutely love to see. The Lions do put a lot of emphasis on what you see in the joint scrimmages, not so much what you see in preseason on some players. So this is a good thing. That's something we like to see. We're a big fan of Tate Ratledge over here at the Hat and Beard Show. Over to afterwards. You seen him on the thumbnail. I'm actually repping his shirt today in solidarity with our guy. He is the poll boy today. We have a poll about him. Lions tight end will miss, quote, a little bit of time. Lions standout tight end Sam LaPorta sidelined with an injury. Shout out our guy Brent DeWitt bringing this to my attention late last night. That was dropping comments. You guys can feel free to comment down on videos if there's ever any news breaking. It does get my attention. I do get notifications. I try to respond to them as quickly as I can. We're having some serious issues with OBS, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, I agree with Brent DeWitt down in the chat. What the fuck is, quote, a little bit? What do you mean a little bit? Like are we just missing? Is it just the tip? What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So we will kind of see what's going on with Sam LaPorta. Everyone having connection issues this morning. Oh, that's not a good thing. We're going to just keep slogging through it, though, you guys. We're going to keep making the best of it and doing what we can. And then finally, we're going to end our day, right? First of all, we're going to end our day talking about Lions-Dolphins joint practice day 2 observations, right? By now, with us having the luxury of that Hall of Fame game, this is preseason game number 3 for the Detroit Lions. We kind of know what we're getting out of most of these guys. So filing down on some of these rookies, like, do you want to see more production out of Tesla, or do you kind of know what you're getting out of Tesla? Do you want to see him kind of keep rolling the wheels? Or are we going to start kind of narrowing it down into like the smaller, the safety 4, the defensive end 5 position? Do we kind of know where things are shaking out now at this point? So there's not really a lot of matchups that we can watch. There are some things that we can pay attention to. So, pay attention to the things that are going on. But what did we have going on Camp Tim? 2020 senior writer from DetroitLions.com. Tim, 20-man Lions, Dolphins joint day practice day 2 observations. We'll read writers here and what he's got to say about our 24-hour second practice with the Miami Dolphins, right ahead of our preseason matchup Saturday at 1 p.m. Guys, before you do anything else, today is the day to have things turned on. Make sure that you are paying attention because in 8 hours over at Roar of the Lions, UK, good on them. This is look, guys, One Pride Worldwide. There are Detroit Lions fans stranded on the wrong side of the Freedom Pond, and our heart goes out to them, right? They are stuck over there, not knowing what it's like to be free and prosperous, right? So thankfully, though, they have big hearts and are doing a charity fundraiser, right? 24-hour live stream where Roar the Lions UK will be donating 50% of all proceeds to Habitat for Humanity of Michigan. Shout out you guys. Dude, that is super awesome of y'all to think about us little old, mitten dwellers over here. You know what I'm saying? That's super cool you guys to do that. They're also going to be donating 50% of the proceeds to Maggie's House, everyone's home of cancer care, and that is a UK-based charitable housing type deal. I'm not really familiar with how that stuff works out. Hospital stuff, health stuff, medical stuff freaks me the fuck out, so I try to shy away from that. But they will be having a bunch of guests. They got Jeremy Reisman from Pride of Detroit, Nick Bumgardner from The Atlantic, Dave Brickett from Detroit Free Press, wow, Jeff Risden from the Lions Wire. We read all of those guys. And let's not forget Mike Kimber from Lions Talk by Chat Sports. What a fucking whales. They landed whales all over there. No Captain Ahab, and they've got all of the big whales already bagged over there. So shout out to them. There is a link down in my description below, okay? It says go support the cause, right? There's a link. It's you just click on it. It takes you to a Streamlabs donation section. Go ahead, if you can. If you can, donate a little bit. It goes for a good cause. And just go ahead and let them know that the Hat and Beard Show sent you over there, right? We've been seeing a lot of refugees from the UK floating on over and subscribing to the channel, and I really appreciate that, you guys. We will continue to bask in the glory of our freedom over here while you guys are still stranded, but at least One Pride Worldwide. Let's go. Guys, make sure you do the things. Poke all my bells, ring all of my buttons. Go ahead and assault the like button and hit it with the 2-piece and a biscuit on your way over to the subscribe button where you can subscribe to the channel and become a member of the Hat and Beard Show, or as my buddy Chase likes to call y'all, the Mad Hatters. And I actually kind of like that. Go ahead and ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com. From broadcasting exclusively from Grandma Studio One. We are the largest, fastest growing Detroit Lions and NFL content creation station, meeting all of those exact metrics, guys. The last thing you can do, let's go ahead and finish this week strong. Go ahead and we're going to do legs and shoulders. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves some good heavy lifting with our legs by clicking that share button and sharing this video around with all of your friends and family. Now, if you really don't feel like manipulating and tearing up your well-cultivated and groomed social media presence, you can just copy this link down on your clipboard. Over 70% of you guys watch this on your mobile device, and you don't have to share this around with anybody. You can just copy it down your clipboard. Go ahead and do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Every single one counts as a share, and it's the best way to go. But if your Nana looks like Mary Berry, oh, man, go ahead and send her on over this way. And we're going to finish the week with shoulders because I want to say thank you to all of you guys who have been doing yeoman's work, lifting, sharing, spreading this around. I really appreciate all you guys. You do the networking for me because I don't know how to network because I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Broski. What's up, dude? Sam Armstrong. It's Friday. Let's go, brother. I got Friday off. We're going to be going and dispensing some freedom pills here in a little bit on some steel targets. I can't wait. Got the lawn mowed yesterday. Got to work 7 days in a row coming up. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. It's Friday. Let's go. Hopefully you guys can ski on into the weekend and have yourselves an awesome weekend. Don't forget to watch the Lions game 1 o'clock tomorrow. Everyone have an internet connection. Our Vanderlei, they're having a joint practice today. I don't know. I don't think traditionally teams would practice the day before a preseason game. Tesla showed me he's a wide receiver 3 personally. Yepepo, good morning, brother. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a couple days. Glad to see you back in the chat. I completely agree with you. I think as it sits right now, the lack of production we've seen out of Fireball Tim Patrick, even though Khalif Raymond is still in-house, he is a special teams phenom, weapon gadget style player. Isaac Tesla should be penciled in as the number 3 wide receiver right now. Let's go, Isaac Tesla. Looking at that way, Tesla may have been a steal. You guys, Brent, gosh, I can't. I think it was Frank the Tank, East Side. Okay, he pops up in the chat every once in a while. You guys, I'm pretty sure that when we were doing our pre-draft process, Frank the Tank, East Side, was telling us to draft Tesla. And boy, howdy, the Lions went and drafted Tesla. When you are Brad Holmes' favorite wide receiver in the draft, and you're taken in the mid-rounds, the pedigree of players that you have in front of you that have shown statistically to be successful wide receivers, it is a lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels type deal. You're going to be something in the NFL if Brad Holmes hangs that hat on your. Sailors pushing Netflix out wouldn't surprise me. Brent, I agree with you. We've been high on Jalen Sailors ever since he signed with the Lions because we've been watching the UFL here at the Hat and Beard Show. You guys, we watched the UFL, and we knew that Jalen Sailors was a special player for the UFL, which means he's a better than most player in the NFL, especially at a specialist position like that. Trump, Putin in Alaska today. I wonder if they'll play with Harp and do some weather manipulation. Broski, welcome, brother. I knew there was a reason you fit in so well here, dude. Let's hope, dude, because I'm enjoying this. It's like 77 degrees. I hope it doesn't get too warm. Not for nothing, guys. I woke up this morning. I didn't have the air on. I was kind of excited. Your boy has blue jeans on. Blue jeans, son. Repping blue jeans today because I'm ready for some fall weather. Fall means football. Fall means I don't have to have my chicken ankles out. You know what I'm saying? Fall means jeans and flannel. Let's go, you guys. Hope they keep Netflix on the practice squad. Yepepo, yeah, he could make the practice squad, but Craig Reynolds probably has enough of a pedigree that in lieu of some other team needing a running back, he probably would get picked up relatively quickly by another franchise simply because he has the NFL experience pedigree and can still be productive, although not as productive as Jalen Sailors for the Detroit Lions. FYI, there's a link on DetroitLions.com that's available to kick off to watch the game. There you go, Brent DeWitt, man, doing the big lifting. That's what I talk about. UK went socialist. They're toast. Broski, I know. That's what I say, dude. Them guys are on the wrong side of the freedom pond, and all we can do is hope that those of our brethren, One Pride Worldwide, that can see the freight train that's coming, hop on a ship and sail their happy asses over here and apply for refugee status before ultimately we launch the crusades to take back what is rightfully ours. I don't know. Just kidding. We're just talking shit. You know, I like my chicken fried, a pair of jeans that fits. Hey, ya Beppo! I see you with that old Zach Brown drop, dude. Yeah, I just like wearing jeans, man. Their leader sold them out for oil money. You got that right, dude. You got that right, guys. So, all right, we're not going to get too much into the geopolitical talks of the United Kingdom. We're just going to laugh at them for being stuck over there and not having the Constitution that we have both in our hearts and on paper. Let's go. Let's get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, boys and girls, let's not forget that there is a poll up in the question. Is LaPorta's injuries becoming a problem? It should say, are LaPorta's injuries becoming a problem? Sorry about my bad grammar. We have 4 options for you. Yes. This is not good. This is not a good thing. With 25% of the vote, 50% you say no. Ish happens. I would like a little bit more clarity on what exactly the type of injury that Sam LaPorta has. This is not necessarily becoming a problem in my opinion yet. Shit does happen. But what is it? What is your injury? You know what I'm saying? Stafford was the same way with 0% of the vote. Though, let's be real, that is a comparison. Matt Stafford was starting to get that China doll tag on him early on in his career, before turning it on and becoming the Pad Stafford and his goofy fucking white teeth that we all do not like anymore. And then 25% of you clicking on that final option. Look who made her way back on the pole. Let me see them AOC tatas, baby. Let's go. The Manhattan's mid-maiden with her butt teeth. She has butt teeth, not buck teeth, not buck teeth. She has butt teeth. B-U-T-T-T-E-E-T-H. Butt teeth. That's 4 T's in butt teeth. Let's go. You guys, don't forget about the poll. So, over here, coming to us from yahoosports.com, NFL training camp live updates. How did the Dolphins respond after, quote, most lopsided practice reporters had ever seen? 1 full week of preseason action is in the books, and there's plenty to talk about. The Miami Dolphins were, in a word, dominated. Call me daddy, Detroit Lions, during joint practices on Wednesday, with 2 beat reporters calling it, quote, the most lopsided joint practice they'd ever seen. That's rough. This was even after Lions linebacker Grant Stewart said Tuesday that he didn't know if the Dolphins would be ready for Detroit. So, how did Miami respond Thursday? In another word, pretty well. Or in another 2 words, pretty well. The Dolphins were, quote, a lot sharper on offense, per the Miami Herald. Lions beat writers noticed a better performance, too, with A to Z Sports, A to Z Sports, noting, quote, the Dolphins must have taken Wednesday personally, given how they performed in the red zone on 7-on-7s, and The Athletic characterized the day as, quote, more competitive, and praising the Dolphins' defense. Dolphins linebacker Bradley Chubba-Lubba-Dub-Dub was happy with how the team responded. Bradley Chubb said he felt the team gathered themselves and played Dolphins football today. Says it feels good to have a bad taste in your mouth and be able to come up the next day and reflect on that. That's right. They had a bad taste in their mouth from eating our ass all day on Wednesday. We'll see how the Dolphins look in their second preseason game this weekend against Detroit. At least for one day, they didn't make the wrong kind of headlines. We will see just exactly how much of that ass we beat on Saturday when our backups beat the shit out of your guys. Let's go, you guys. So that's from A to Z Sports. How do you guys think about that? Do you think we should give any of this? Heard J-Mo was cooking yesterday. Yeah. So you talking about in the chat, dude? J-Mo was a topic of discussion. You guys, I didn't realize it. We went on like a 40-minute conversation yesterday about Jameson Williams just randomly in the chat. Now, I hope it was pretty clear what I was trying to say. I'm not advocating that J-Mo needs to go anywhere right now. I'm trying to give you guys multiple viewpoints. We're going to go and take the Tim Poolian approach to this, and I'm going to sit my furry red ass on a fence and just be a milquetoast fence sitter and say, yes, Jameson Williams can be elite. Also, yes, we need to get rid of Jameson Williams at the end of the season. Look, see, there is multiple different ways you can go about this, and I continue to hang my hat and my beard on the hook of Jameson Williams is the biggest luxury and the best luxury to have in football. The Dolphins are one of the most physical teams, and we dominated them. The Dolphins, Sam, you're not wrong. The Dolphins can be one of the most physical teams. The problem is that the inmates are running the asylum, so when they're on, they're on. But unless everybody's in lockstep, in unison, knowing and understanding the goal and what they're trying to do, it's kind of a moot point. The coaches have no control. The GM is not in control at all. He has no say in the comings and goings and can't seem to make good deals. Chop Robinson went down. That's not a good thing for their defensive line. Takes away from some of their physicality. Though Zach Seiler is pretty good, and Bradley Chubba-Lubba-Dub-Dub is still there. Their back end of the defense not so great. Minka Fitzpatrick is good-ish, still very good, but trending into the wrong age. But their corners are trashed. Amon-Ra made him their bitch all day on Wednesday. I don't know. I'm not too hype about the Miami Dolphins. I think this is Mike McDaniel's final year as their head coach. If he keeps his nose clean all year, why can't I read today? If he keeps his nose clean all year and plays well, we'd like to keep him any more distracted. Yes, see you, Peppo. That's boom. That's I'm on the same boat as you. Yeah. Well, Sam. So Braylon Edwards. So to tie Sam's statement of the Dolphins are one of the most physical teams, and we dominated them per Braylon Edwards. Look, dude, I like Braylon Edwards. I like I don't necessarily like his takes per se all the time, and I can't get over the fact that Braylon Edwards was very anti-action Jack Campbell. He said that Jack Campbell wasn't going to be a good linebacker in the NFL, and the proof is in the pudding. So I'm not anti-Braylon Edwards, just occasionally, he's wrong. I mean, so am I, but sometimes he's wrong. Carrie Simtich, morning, brother. How you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a couple days. Was hoping you're okay, dude. You hanging in there? You doing all right, bro? Dolphins are one of the softest teams. Get real. There you go, broski. Yeah, the Dolphins are, in my opinion, soft as baby shit. They're a disorganized clusterfuck of an organization that has a bunch of goddamn divas top to fucking bottom. It's hard to listen to him. I agree, Sam. Yeah, see, it's not that there's anything wrong with Braylon Edwards. It's just like sometimes he's just so goddamn wrong. You know what I'm saying? Braylon was a great player, but a dull reporter, Peppo. Yeah, that's the thing. Braylon Edwards has like very little personality. Again, there's nothing wrong against him. He has his own way of going about things. He just needs to ramp up the energy a little bit. Maybe have his takes a little bit more settled in like a foundation, not just sitting there consistently going, I can say this because I played in the league. And he really wasn't that great. He was a good college player. He was a middling wide receiver in the NFL. Head coach vaping on the sideline in Miami. Yeah, dude, see? Softer than puppy shit. If you're going to be a little ass puppy, piss on the porch. All right, guys, let's keep this freight train rolling. It is Friday, and, Hat and Boobs has today off, too, so we're going to go get a little bit of lunch here after the show's done. Feeling like some Coney dogs today, boys. Feeling like a couple Conies can go ahead and blah, 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 right down the gullet. Let's go over to A to Z Sports, guys. We got to hit the oil can. I got a little cotton mouth action going on here. All right, over here to A to Z Sports, guys. If you haven't already, take part in the poll. There is 17 of you in the chat or watching right now, and only 9 of you taking and cast a vote. Go ahead and bump them numbers up. Smash that like button. There's 17 of you in the show watching right now. There should be 17 likes, I hope. Ring that notification bell. Subscribe. Ring all my bells. Poke all my buttons. Do all the things. Let's keep talking. It's Friday. A to Z Sports. 5 stock up and 3 stock down for Lions after joint practice with Dolphins. It's sadly over for some guys. I wonder who that might be. But one former Michigan Wolverine, yeah, well, he might make it, and good for him, I suppose. Don't really give a shit. Pause that so we don't lag out. The Detroit Lions have wrapped up their 2 joint practices with the Miami Dolphins, and I have to say it was a lot of fun watching these 2 pretty different teams go at it. The Lions take these joint practices very seriously for starters and everyone else because it's live reps in scenarios that they can control and want to work on. Some players' stock went up this week, and others went down. Let's talk about it. Stock up. It's kind of hard to get your stock to go up any higher. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Man, he looked good Wednesday. I mean, Amon-Ra looked fast. I don't know what they've been doing in training off-season wise. Jameson Williams looks stronger and faster. Amon-Ra St. Brown looks stronger and faster. These guys are cutting on their – it's got to be Scotty Montgomery, right? It has to be Scotty Montgomery. It has to be bringing in a running backs coach to coach already elite-level wide receivers. You have all these wide receivers who don't need to be coached up really on how to be a wide receiver. You needed to coach them up on their physicality, their mechanics, and how to be more explosive with the ball and how to run better. So bringing in Scotty Montgomery, transitioning him from the running backs coach to the wide receivers coach actually makes a lot of sense if you think about what we're trying to do with the evolution of the players that we have in-house. Yeah, that's got to be Scotty Montgomery, right? That's got to be it. St. Brown beat poor Jack Jones up and down the field for 2 days, and when they tried him with a different corner, he just beat that guy up and down the field too. He was making insane catches and doing spin moves. It was just something. His stock was already up, but now it's even higher. Sione Vaki, hello, welcome back from injuries. Sione Vaki, the thought process, for me at least, is that when you look at the way David Montgomery's contract is structured, you see a way out earlier than later. I think that's because the eventual idea is to have Vaki be that second punch to the Lions' 1-2 punch of a backfield at some point. These joint practices involve how real that can be because Vaki looked outstanding all week. Big chunk runs of 10 yards or more. multiple red zone touchdowns, and then some solid kick returns for good measure. Hell yeah, Swiss Army knife Sione Vaki. It was a very impressive showing for him. And this dude, if Sione Vaki's gonna make this roster, it's because not only does he have too much athleticism to keep on to not allow on the roster, and someone will poach him away, the special teams aspect that he brings both in the return and coverage game. It's a very dynamic player. Grant Stewart, after having a just awful, absolutely worst possible thing you could have to start a preseason game. Grant Stewart, our linebacking kick returner, which is fucking weird, opened up the preseason. Very first kickoff of the Hall of Fame game, lost fumble, you know what I mean? But we'll talk about turning it around. This guy balls. This guy balls. And I know it's easy to say because his hair flows in the wind, but he plays with his hair on fire. This guy plays with a fire in his ass. You know what I'm saying? I like the motor on Grant Stewart. I can't believe I'm saying this because I was so against it at first, but I get it with him at kick returner now. He can do it. Do I think he needs to do it every time? No, I don't. But I saw enough this week to think it could happen. The moment that it showed was possible was when he had a big kick, 90-plus kick return touchdown, where he really got to show his speed. It got called back for personal foul, but it wasn't his fault. I want to see how the Lions try him at fullback. He also played linebacker pretty well, which we already know he could do. Ooh, wouldn't that be interesting? This could be a possibility now. Now let's do a thought exercise with Grant Stewart in the fullback spot. Zach Horton was being pretty dominant at fullback, but now with the injury to Yeboah being put on IR and Sam LaPorta going to miss, quote, some time. How much time is that? Zach Horton now might be thrust into the tight end 3 role because Brock Wright and Shane Zylstra are going to have to be your tight ends 1 and 2 for an undisclosed amount of time with Sam LaPorta being hurt, right? Does Grant Stewart now be able to fit that fullback role? Can he do it? I'm sure he can. Look at the athleticism that he's shown just in the preseason with his work at kick returner and linebacker. I mean, he's a lot faster than most guys in the league. Just look at the way he balls. Amik Robertson, let's go. This was a short week for Robertson. It seemed like every time Tua Tagovailoa pass got batted down, I was writing in my notes that it was Robertson doing it. Really strong coverage from all the Lions starting corners against the Dolphins, but it was their nickel who stood out most of the time. Hey, Ronnie Bell having a good week of practice. Look at you, Ronnie Bell. This wasn't the first time I was like, wait, is Ronnie Bell making this team ahead of the Lions game against the Falcons? We started seeing Bell sticking out more and more in practice. He just kept making catches and making plays. And then against Atlanta, he walked out with an 83.6 grade after showing tremendous run blocking and picking up a few catches. That 6th receiver spot that seemed could go to a rookie has not been decided yet. The former Wolverine might be able to snag it if he keeps it up. So let's see. We got Amon-Ra, Waymo Jamo, Isaac Tesla, Fireball Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond. And now it's coming down to 3 guys for that wide receiver 6 spot. Who are we going to go with? Dominic Lovett, Ronnie Bell, or Jackson Meeks? What do you guys think? If I were to put my money on somebody right now, it would be Jackson Meeks, though Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell with a little bit more seasoning. Ronnie Bell with maybe a little bit better downfield run blocking. Maybe Ronnie Bell makes that spot, right? All right, let's take over the chat here before we get into the stock down. Dominating the Dolphins isn't a new thing. These practices are being overblown, in my opinion. Brent, you're probably not wrong, but we put emphasis on the practices because of the way our coaching staff puts emphasis on the practices. We utilize these joint practices for, like they say, controlled game-style environments where you can protect players instead of exposing them to potential injuries in preseason, right? We can control the environment a little bit and then utilize the preseason games to maximize the reps for our roster depth and bubble guys. After last season, I'm terrified of any injuries. Yeah, Peppo, yes. Every time I see an injury pop up in the preseason now with the Lions, I'm just like, oh, fuck, here we go, dude. Here we go. So I don't want Zadarius Smith back. We are really giving a spot to a guy who worked through camp while he's out chasing social media slags. Exactly, yeah, Peppo. I don't think Zadarius... based on what we've seen, Davenport still healthy, right? Supposed to be good to go. Hutch, we know Hutch is the man. Pascal's going to be hurt till September. We've seen a tremendous amount of growth. The same amount of production we got out of Zadarius Smith last year was the same amount of production we got out of Al-Qadim Muhammad. Last year, statistically, him and Josh Pascal did the same thing as Zadarius Smith. Al-Qadim Muhammad has looked very, very good in preseason so far. Nate Lynn is looking very, very good in preseason so far. And let us not forget that we're all rooting for the Egyptian magician, Ahmed the Hammer Hassanin, to make this roster. In order for that to happen, I don't want Zadarius Smith anywhere near the Motor City. He's washed up and old. H&B, I didn't catch what you said about LaPorta's injury. What's going on with that? Broski, we haven't gotten to that story yet. We're still kind of trying to figure out what's going on. It's been kind of a lot of smoke screens, but that is we're 2 stories away. We got a couple more stories to go, and then we'll get to LaPorta's injury. They're reporting it's not serious, but I'm cautious. Yeah, Peppo, that's the thing. They're saying it's not serious, but what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen, guys, we've seen where, it's not serious. It's a soft tissue thing, blah, blah, blah. 3 weeks into the season, then all of a sudden they're having season-ending injury or season-ending surgery. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about our special teams coach, linebacker, kick returner. Last year, we had Netflix returning, and he almost burned us with a fumble in the key playoff situation. Yeah, Peppo, and that's another reason why Netflix, another negative against him. Not so great in the kick return department anymore. Sione Vaki kind of stepping up. Grant Stewart kind of stepping up. You know what I mean? We got guys who can return. Tom Kennedy for that wide receiver 6 spot. Wouldn't that be some? Look, we're all fans of TK85. Tom Kennedy. He's good, not great, though. He's good, not great. And there's just too many bodies, too many mouths to feed, too many guys that can do a little bit more at a higher level, right? Tom Kennedy can play in the special teams game, but Tom Kennedy can't play at a high enough level, right, to justify keeping him on a roster spot. Ronnie Bell, Sam, you say Ronnie Bell's going to make that 6 wide receiver spot. I'm not mad about it. I do like what I've seen out of Ronnie Bell. I think it really comes down to that 6 wide receiver spot is going to be Ronnie Bell and Jackson Meeks. I think that's the big battle. Hendon, let's go hose. Let the hose go, Hooker. That's right. Hell yeah, broski. Wide receiver room is crazy good this year, Peppo. As it stands right now, it is very good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stock down players. This is, again, from A to Z Sports. What do you know? Look at him go. Hendon Hooker, his stock went down. It's really not hard to see. It's really not hard. Jesus Christ. It's really hard not to see this being over. I looked through all my notes twice and couldn't find one positive thing that Hooker did in these joint practices. Granted, I couldn't find any bad things either, but being unmemorable is certainly not what you want when you're trying to win a roster spot. Kyle Allen wasn't lighting the Dolphins up, but at least he had some notes on him making some solid throws, like one he had to Khalif Raymond for a first down that turned into more after a helmet-to-helmet. After last Friday and then Campbell's presser on Monday, Hooker needs to show something this week, and he unfortunately did not. It just puts him further behind the 8 ball. Get it? Because Kyle Allen wears number 8. Dominic Lovett, stock down. Early on, the 7th-round pick was really showing us something out there, and it seemed like if he keeps impressing, maybe there's a small chance he could supplant Khalif Raymond for that kick returner spot and get offensive reps and all of that. Then the Hall of Fame game wasn't a great night, and he got hurt after that. Since then, everyone has just kind of passed him by. Goff, or guys like Bell and Jackson Meeks, have taken advantage of Lovett's struggles and injury and have shown up time and again. There's still some time for Lovett, but right now, he's gone from possible big role to a practice squad guy who might have to wait until next year to get his chance. Mason Miller, it's never good to be a guy who's been in camp all summer long and then get moved down in favor of a guy who's been there a couple days. That's what happened when the Lions moved Miller to the 3rd team and new tackle Gunnar Britton to the 2nd team. That might spell the end for the rookie. I don't think Mason Miller is even someone who's going to make it to the practice squad. There's too many mouths, too many bodies, too many guys ahead of you like Giovanni Manu and Dan, the friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper, and Jamarco Jones. So none of these guys really, it's disappointing. Dominic Lovett was kind of splashing in camp early on. Did not have a great Hall of Fame game. And then, followed it up with some trash play and injuries throughout camp recently. So Dominic Lovett's stock definitely down. And, of course, Hendon Hooker, he's just tanking his stock at this point. He's just down, 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 down. He gets me so down, 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 down. How we doing, Chet? Yo, Beantown! What up, brother? How you doing, man? How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Lion King! What's up, Lion King? Dude, how you doing? Everybody's here this morning, dude. Let's go. What up with Detroit's real people mover, Manu? Oh, people mover, Manu? You talking about, getting Manu on? I don't know what you mean about that, Lion King. Let him go. Let him go if Ho's gonna go. Ho's gonna go. Yeah, Peppa, we got to get Hooker out of town, right? Hat my dude. What's up, Beantown? Nobody's taking Leaf spot. I agree, Sam. There is something that I always kind of said about Khalif Raymond, and there is a clip early on in camp where Khalif Raymond has actually been having a really good camp early on, and he was mic'd up, and you could hear him talking to Amon-Ra, and he's talking, and he's like, man, hey, Amon-Ra. I turned around, and he's like, oh, no, man, I'm Khalif Raymond. And I've said it time and time again. Amon-Ra St. Brown is obviously the number 1 wide receiver, and Khalif Raymond is the 4th or 5th wide receiver, right? But when Amon-Ra needs a blow, or if something were to happen to Amon-Ra, Khalif Raymond is a poor man's Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he's a luxury to have. Plus, he is statistically one of the better punt returners throughout the last few years in the NFL. So I think Khalif Raymond definitely makes the roster. And I'm still a fan of Khalif Raymond. You know what I mean? I like what he does. That 6th wide receiver spot, though, really comes down to 2 guys, in my opinion. Jackson Meeks or Ronnie Bell. Unless Dominic Lovett is able to just turn it on, get healthy, and just turn it on the next couple of days or weeks, yeah, I think Dominic Lovett's going to be a practice squad guy. Leaf is our best our best returner, period, kick or punts. You are right, Peppo. Absolutely correct on that. All right, shifting gears a little bit. Let's talk a little bit of let's start getting a little hype here about our rookie play. Okay, if you guys haven't already, check out the poll. 15 votes. Look at you guys go. Is LaPorta's injuries becoming a problem? I should say, are LaPorta's injuries becoming a problem? I gave you 4 options to pick from. Yes, this is not good. 33% of the vote. 53% of you say no. Ish happens. That is correct. 0% of you say Stafford was the same way. That's right. We don't like Pad Stafford or his big goofy white teeth. And then 13% of you say, let me see them AOC Tatas, baby. She made her way back onto the poll. Let's fucking go, guys. Make sure you ring all my buttons and poke all of my bells, right? Turn that notification bell on. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and share this around with all of your friends, you guys. And if you're feeling froggy tonight and you ain't got nothing going on in 8 short hours at 7 p.m. over at Roar of the Lions UK, they're doing a charity 24-hour charity stream. 50% of the proceeds is going to go to Michigan Habitat for Humanity. Just look at that list of guys. We'll make sure and cover this a couple more times. But I do have a description down in the link, or a link down in the description below. Go ahead and click on that. Go ahead and donate over if you can a little bit there. And let them know that the Hat and Beard Show sent you. We appreciate our brethren, even if they are on the wrong side of the freedom pond. Guys, proud of Detroit.com. Dan Campbell. Motor City Dan Campbell. Tater Ratledge playing like a starting NFL guard. Dan Campbell is fired up over the progress made by Lions' second-round pick, Tate Ratledge. Let's go, Eric Schlitt. The Detroit Lions shuffled and added to their interior offensive line this offseason, shifting Graham Glasgow inside to center, promoting Christian Mahogany to starting left guard, and drafting Tater, the Motor City Mullet Ratledge, in the second round to start at right guard. Tater Ratledge, the guy that I said we had to walk out of this draft with. And it's exactly what we did. Oh, I was so vindicated. And I know, I get it, you guys. It is my burden to bear, but you guys have no idea how often people confuse me for Brad Holmes, right? Now, there's one jarring difference between me and Brad Holmes, okay? And if it's not obvious, I have a lot more hair than Brad Holmes does, okay? While the interior offensive line has been working hard to mesh with one another throughout training camp, the offensive line as a whole only just started taking reps together with the return of starting left tackle, the veteran Taylor Decker. Decker was opening training camp on the PUP list, but was activated following the Lions' preseason game against the Chargers. While he only participated in individual drills leading up to the Falcons game, he's been acclimating to full team reps since, splitting time with reserve tackle, your friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper. That's right, we love Dan Skipper here at the Hat and Beard Show, the best troll in the NFL. When Lions coach Dan Campbell was asked about how the unit has performed in joint practices with the Miami Dolphins, quit jumping around. Now that Decker has returned, Campbell discussed how the unit as a whole operates better with him in the lineup. But in the middle of his explanation, Campbell, unprompted, turned the discussion to rookie guard Ratledge, praising him. God, quit jumping around. God damn it. Praising him for it. What is going on? Why? Why do these ads keep jumping everything around? I'm going to lose my shit. Quote, Tate Ratledge, I thought looked like a starting NFL guard yesterday, which fires me up, man. Campbell said on Thursday. So it's early. That's step one. But the kid's getting better, man. Ratledge opened training camp at center, which many believe to be his long-term role for the Lions, but switched to a more natural right guard role after the first week. Now, let us not forget, everybody plays better next to the future Hall of Famer Penei Sewell. Everybody statistically who has ever lined up next to Penei Sewell in the NFL plays better next to Penei Sewell, because Penei Sewell bidding for his gold jacket already, baby. Let's go. Things were happening quickly for Ratledge. He was being loaded with information early in camp, was asked to learn 2 positions, all while acclimating to the speed of the NFL, which isn't that much faster. Still faster, but not that much faster. He is an SEC product, right? But over the past few weeks, things slowed down for Ratledge, and he was shown that he's turned a corner in his development of late, most notably in joint practices. We like to practice with joints. You watch him in protection, some of the ways that he was able to pass to anticipate was pretty good for a young guy, Campbell elaborated. I just thought he and Penei are working at a high level in some of these combination blocks. What a oh, man. Could you imagine, oh, fuck me, right in the GOTAS, if you were to be like a slightly undersized defensive end on a 3rd and 5, and you thinking we're going to come with a pass play, and Tate Ratledge and Penei Sewell take a step back, and we're going to run that third down draw play that we love to run and execute so well. You take a step forward, and all of a sudden, you got Penei Sewell and Tate Ratledge both bearing down on you. Oh, fuck! What a terrifying. Oh, I'd shit and I would just drop down on the ground in the fetal position and just start shitting directly in my pants. That's what I would do. It looks like the game slowed down for him a little bit yesterday, and it's early, but that's a step in the right direction. That high level of combination play from Ratledge and Sewell carried over to day 2 of joint practices, practicing with joints with the Dolphins, as our own Jeremy Reisman highlighted in his observations from practice. Ratledge took time after practice to discuss his budding chemistry with Sewell. That's just, dude, you love to see the developing chemistry between the Motor City mullet Tater Ratledge and the future Hall of Famer Penei Sewell. Quote, I think he knows how I'm going to fit up on double teams. I know how he's going to fit up on double teams, Ratledge said, of working alongside Penei Sewell, the future Hall of Famer, so kind of just playing off each other has gotten more cleaner and smoother. Instead of just playing football, we're reacting off each other, knowing what each other are going to do. That's I didn't play offensive line at this high of a level. Okay, I did play in the high school level, right? At a high level in high school. When you can not think about the game around you and you can just play along, look, they're not out playing football. Those two guys are just out playing games with people now. Sounds like they're having fun. Sounds like these two dudes know that they're very special individually, and when you put them in conjunction with one another, look out, we're going to have a fucking I can't even think of the proper verbiage to describe how good the right side of our offensive line could potentially be behind these two guys. Ratledge still has plenty to learn, but he has gained a higher level of respect of teammates and coaches. His confidence has flourished, allowing him to play freely and physically. It certainly gives me confidence being a rookie coming into a grown man's league, coming in here trying to compete. So I think I can do my best ability is to play as physical as I possibly can and clean up my technique later. So for me, it's going out there, trying to set the tone for myself and the line, and then going from there. Gosh, you love that. Is very inspiring. Do you guys not agree? How do you feel about that? How we doing down in chat? How you guys feel about that? Pats O-line 6 sacks in their first 20 snaps of practice yesterday. Holy shit. Beantown. Vrabel made him run the hill for 20 minutes. Oh, man, dude. And didn't they get that tackle? Didn't they take that tackle out of LSU? That kid, God, something Compton, Will Compton, isn't that his name? Something like that. In the first round, wasn't his job specifically to bolster? Didn't they spend money along that offensive line? Oh, that's not what you like to see. But Beantown, we're going to go ahead and give you a caveat. It's training camp. It's practice. Things could be going catastrophically awry. I don't know. Tater out there throwing, dude. Sam, yeah, dude. So that's the thing, man. The physicality of Tater Ratledge and Penei Sewell, just like mauling guys, just ragdolling them. Oh, man. Gibbs Amani behind Penei and Tater. Oh, yeah, Peppo. That's why I'm saying that Gibbs could easily rush for 2,000 yards, especially behind that, what is looking to be dominant right side of the offense. Will Campbell. He allowed 3 of the 6. Will Campbell. That's his name, Will Campbell. Oh, that poor bastard. His brain's going to be broken. So Beantown, is he mentally strong? You're our Pats insider, dude. I got you as a Patriots insider. I got Broski Bear as a Bears insider. It's convenient. I'm not going to lie. It's convenient having you guys being able to shed light on these things. All right, guys. We're going to go over to SI.com. That's our thumbnail boy, our poll boy, the guy that we're all concerned about, our fan favorite, Sam LaPorta. Go ahead and ring all my bells, poke all my buttons. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Do all the things. Share this around with all your friends. It's the best way to keep this channel growing. We had a very successful day, and we're trying to finish the week strong. All right, we are live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com. If you ring that notification bell, it takes the thinking out of it for you, and it's just going to send you a notification. All you can do, click that son of a bitch. It's going to bring you right here. Ha! It's easy peasy. Ha ha! Lemon squeezy. Lions tight end will miss, quote, a little bit of time. Fuck does that mean, a little bit of time? Lions standout tight end Sam LaPorta sidelined with an injury. Christian Boer is coming out 23 hours ago, so there might be some newer news that came out while we've been live. I'm sorry if I'm dropping the ball. The Lions will be without their top tight end for the final joint practices against the Miami Dolphins. Lions coach Dan Campbell said Thursday that LaPorta is dealing with a minor injury and will be out for some time. It is not expected to be long-term injury, but he could miss multiple days. LaPorta will be down, Campbell said. It's not major, but he will miss a little bit of time here. The Iowa product missed some time last year in training camp, which is why this is starting to be a little concerning with an injury. While his numbers dipped from his rookie year to his second year in 2024, LaPorta had a strong finish to the season that would indicate that he remains a huge part of the offense. In 2 seasons with the Lions, LaPorta has totaled 146 receptions, 1,600 yards, and 17 touchdowns. That's why I say he is the number 2 pass-catching option on the team, regardless of what you guys feel about Jameson Williams. He set an NFL record for receptions by a rookie tight end in his first season, but that record was broken by Las Vegas Raiders 2024 first-round pick Brock Bowers last year. He's a very special tight end. Talk about a resurgence and almost a new golden era of tight ends. There seems to be quite a lot of good young tight ends in the NFL. It's the evolution of athletics, the development of players younger on, and I think the realization that tight end is an incredibly dynamic position to play because it is inherently a Swiss Army knife position. It is at its core a dual role spot. So guys, I joke about Colston Loveland because he's too fat to play wide receiver and he's too skinny to play tight end, but maybe he could be an athletic tight end who just doesn't block very well. Or he's just going to be a fat tight end because you don't take tight ends in the first round, especially when the Chicago Bears and you have a stupid head coach. Detroit's offense dominated the first session of joint practices, with LaPorta serving as a key piece of the passing attack throughout camp. He has made things difficult for the Lions' defense during practices, including his former roommate and Lions linebacker, Action Jack Campbell. Whoops. Shit. Quote, Sam is one of a kind. I played against him in college, lived with him, so I know him pretty well, Campbell said. He's unbelievable. I feel like his route running ability. He's smart. He's tough. He's an all-around tight end, and I feel like it shows. Sam LaPorta, okay, that makes sense. They were roommates, Jack. I knew they played in college together. Sam LaPorta got married this offseason, and Brock Wright was there. I think a couple other players were there, but Jack Campbell was also there, and I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, they went to college together. I didn't realize that these cats were roommates. That's dope. Without LaPorta, the Lions will lean on Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra, Zach Horton, and newcomer Gunnar Oaks to handle the position. The Lions lost free agent signing Kenny Yeboah to a season-ending knee injury after their preseason game against Atlanta. And that sucks because Yeboah was supposed to be a nice blocking piece for us. The Detroit Lions will get cornerback Terry Arnold back into some team reps after the second-year cornerback did individual drills Wednesday. That's good. Arnold has been dealing with a low-grade hamstring injury. That's bad. That has limited his availability in training camp. And we've emphasized how bad hamstring injuries can be, how nagging they can derail an entire year. If you have a season-long nagging hamstring injury, it will completely derail your season. And that's not what you want to see coming into a sophomore year where we wanted to see Terry Arnold to continue to trend upwards. I'm not saying that he will, but we do need to now kind of tamper our expectations and realize that there might be a little bit more curve, not so much of a steep climb, but a little bit more of a slow taper off to the development this season of Terry Arnold if this hamstring injury is a season-long problem, which traditionally, historically, they tend to be. The plan to get him some individuals today, get him some group, and then give him a couple of team reps and just see where he is. This is about Terry Arnold. Arnold's not expected to participate Wednesday, but wound up doing some individual work. After practice, he told reporters he planned on practicing Thursday against the Dolphins. Well, good for him. Good for him. I'm glad Terry Arnold's back. Hopefully it's not a long-term thing. I would like a little bit more clarity on Sam LaPorta. Let's go ahead and see if there's any news about Sam LaPorta. Nothing new. Nothing breaking. Highest yards per catch. All right, no new news. Sam LaPorta. Injury. All right, nothing new. Nothing new about LaPorta. At least nothing that we haven't already read. How's the chat doing? How's the poll doing? We got 16 votes. 50% of you say LaPorta. Shit just happens. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Oh, wow, we got a... he's too small, dude. He was getting bullied for most of practice. Oh, you're talking Beantown talking about Will Campbell. Do they need to move him to guard? I knew that was kind of the shtick on him, is that his arms were too short. We're not full force without our Italian stallion at tight end. I hope he's right. I love it. The Italian stallion. Yes, dude. Yeah, Peppo. Oh, we're calling him Sam, the Italian stallion LaPorta from Moving On. Browers is big time. That Browers is a very special player. One of the very few guys that I would have actually considered taking in the first round at tight end. Yeah, Peppo. Browers is real, but Sam fits our offense perfectly. He also fits the culture of what the Detroit Lions are trying to do. He's not too big as far as his ego is concerned. Seems to be pretty easygoing. And not for nothing, doesn't he just seem like Dan Campbell Jr.? You know what I'm saying? When Sam was like, get blessed by the Pope, did the Pope say, go Bears? Ha! Yeah, Brent, I heard that he at least said something about like the White Sox or the Cubs or something like that. Yeah, Hutch's arms are too short. Also, yeah, Brent. Remember how Aiden Hutchinson's arms were too short, and that's why he fell to us at number 2. His arms are too short, and that's why the Jacksonville Jaguars are too stupid to draft a future Hall of Fame talent, Aiden Hutchinson. Instead, they took Trayvon Walker, the athletic freak out of Georgia. All right, guys, we got one final story here. We're going to go a little bit late, but not too bad. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. Today is Friday, so we won't see you guys until Monday, but when we go live, you ring that notification bell, it's going to send you a push-button notification. It's the easiest way to go. Like the video. There's 22 of you in the chat right now. Let's go ahead and bump them numbers up. Let's get the numbers up. Share this video around with all your friends, especially your Nana. Tim 20 Man over at Detroit Lions. Tim 20 Man. Lions Dolphins joint practice day 2. Observations. Competitive day. Credit to the Miami Dolphins for making some 24-hour adjustments. After getting outplayed on both sides of the ball in Wednesday's joint practice and making Thursday's second practice at the Miger is French Performance Center much more competitive. The energy level was high, and both teams got some really good work in Thursday. Good for them. Situational defense wins. Both first-team offenses were put in tough end-of-game situations, giving the ball on their 48-yard line with 59 seconds on the clock, trailing 24-20 with one timeout in the fourth quarter. Jared Goff, JG16, and the Lions offense went first and were able to navigate down to the Dolphins' 19-yard line on completions to tight end Shane Zylstra, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, with 2 seconds on the clock. St. Brown's 20-yard catch on the 3rd and 16 play, the final attempt at the red zone as time expired, fell incomplete to St. Brown. However, Miami's defense won the situation. Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins' offense were shut out in 4 plays. 2 completions and a short completion to running back Jalen Wright set up a 4th and 7. Tagovailoa tried to hit wide receiver Tariq Black for a first down to the left, but safety Brian Branch made a terrific play on the football to force an incompletion and give the Lions defense the win. Brian Branch quietly climbing up, making himself better and better. I still think we have 2 of the top 5 safeties in the NFL, meaning number 1 and number 3. Deep shot. The first play of mid-practice team period for the Detroit offense started with Goff throwing a bomb to Williams for a touchdown. Williams got behind 2 Dolphins defenders, including former Lion Ife Melifonwu, who Williams had a dust-up with late in Wednesday's practice. Williams was sure to let Melifonwu know he got the better of him on that play. Pro scouting. It was interesting watching the Lions' director of pro scouting, Rob Lohman, keeping a close eye on Dolphins drills early in practice. That's one element of joint practices we don't think about a lot. Rosters go from 90 to an initial 53 in a couple weeks, and that means 37 players from every team are going to get cut. The Lions are always looking to improve or add a developmental player to the practice squad, and Lohman was getting a good look at the fish on Thursday. Bates report. We got to see both field goal kickers Thursday, and the Lions kicker Jake Bates, the Ballad of Jake Bates, was perfect on the day, making all 5 of his attempts from 34, 38, 43, 49, and a big 53-yarder. Look at you go. Middle pressure. The Lions ranked 3rd in the NFL last year with 132 pressures generated from the middle of their defensive line. We know that Aleem McNeil can do it in that department when he gets back from ACL rehab later this year. Rookie Tyleek the Freak and our boy Keith Cooper Jr., KCJ, have shown some nice flashes of passability for the interior. DJ Reader had 3 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for a loss, and 20 total pressures last season. He had a sack in Thursday's practice and a couple nice pressures. Don't forget he missed all of training camp last year with a quad injury. He should be in prime form to start the year, and he was really disruptive on Thursday, I thought. Good for you. Tough running. I thought second-year running back Sione Vaki had a nice practice Thursday. He had a couple short touchdown runs in team periods, showing off some really good physicality and power to bull his way through defenders and into the end zone. He also had a nice kick return and kickoff period when he went for a big gain. After missing some time early in camp, he's coming on strong. That's good on the whole. That's what we like to see out of Sione Vaki. It's what we were hoping to see. Not great for Jalen Sailors, right? But we could take 4 running backs and Jalen Sailors. What you're seeing out of Jalen Sailors, if he continues to trend upwards, and what you're seeing out of Sione Vaki, if he continues to trend upwards, from an outside perspective, Craig Reynolds is going to be out of a job. Am I wrong? Eric King, the United States was founded in 1776 by Jesus believers. ASAP, the United States needs to start up a super-duper military base with Israel. Zelensky is Putin's son. Luke. Okay, right on, Eric King. Okay, that's fair. We're not going to delve too much into that, but I'm sure. Sure. Bro, Shish TA was too handsy when he's full go. Yeah, Terry Arnold was a little handsy, but not so much anymore, Peppo. Samuel's wife got blessed by the Pope. Hutch's arms are too short. Okay, all right. We're all caught up on the chat. All right, cool. Sorry, there was just that big group there. But yeah, Eric King, right on, brother. Right on, brother. Preach, brother. Hell yeah. Team Red Zone, while both defenses got the better of the offenses in both of the practice situations, the offenses had their fun earlier in team period. Both offenses started on the opponent's 25-yard line. 2 catches and a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown run were the highlights of the offense in the win. Wide receivers Malik Washington and D. Eskridge, I think D. Eskridge is a Western Michigan product, had touchdown catches for the Dolphins offense as they moved the football much better Thursday than they did on Wednesday. Catch of the day, the award goes to Eskridge. I really think he's a Western Michigan product, who made a terrific catch in the corner of the end zone in a team period with Lions cornerback DJ Reed in really tight coverage. Eskridge played his football down the road at Western Michigan University. Well, there you go. Back to back to back. During a red zone team period, the Lions' first-team offense went on a mini tear with 3 straight Goff touchdown passes on 3 straight plays to St. Brown, running back Demo, David Montgomery, and Williams. Detroit was 3rd in the NFL last season with 113.7 passer rating in the red zone with 25 touchdowns. And a big old goose egg, 0 interceptions. Hopefully that continues to trend upwards and in that direction. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. What do we got here? Yeah, do you guys want to watch? I don't really feel like listening to Jared Goff talk about joint practices and takeaways. All right, guys, so don't forget that tomorrow the Lions play at 1 o'clock at Ford Field. Probably be able to catch it on Fox, I would imagine, or CBS, but probably Fox. Check your local listings. Don't gamble on the preseason. It's stupid, okay? It's a good way to lose money. Try and have yourself a good weekend, you guys. Today we talked about NFL training camps, how the Dolphins responded from a national news media standpoint. We then talked about 5 players whose stock went up and 3 players whose stock went down this week for the Lions as far as making a roster. Some guys pop. Some guys we expect to flop. Then we talked about Dan Campbell praising our guy, Hat and Beard's favorite player in the draft, Tate Ratledge, the guy that I said we have to come out of this draft with. And sure as shit, we did. And it's proving, at least on paper, and at least in practices, to be a rock-solid pick. Hopefully Tate Ratledge, next to Penei Sewell, can be just a fucking force for the next few years. We poked around a little bit about the Sam LaPorta injury. Not much news, though. Going to miss, quote, a little bit of time. What does that mean? And what does that mean for our roster spots moving forward? Then do we carry in? Does Horton stay at tight end? Do we then flex Grant Stewart to fullback? What does this mean? How long is he going to be out for? Let's get some more news on that, guys. Come on. Hopefully Monday we can get more on that. And then we talked about Tim 20-man's observations from day 2 of joint practices with the Miami Dolphins. A better day for Miami on the whole, but Detroit's still looking like the more physical and dominant team. And that's not, I know that that's a biased take, but it is what it is. Don't forget to, guys, tonight at 7 p.m. over at Roar of the Lions UK. Make sure that you subscribe to that channel. Go ahead and check out the description of this video. There's a link down there that you can go ahead and click that will take you to the donation page where they'll be doing a 24-hour live stream. Donations are going to be split 50-50 between Maggie's Home for Cancer Care, everyone's home for cancer care, Maggie's house over in the UK, and 50% going to Habitat for Humanity of Michigan. Shout out our brethren, One Pride Worldwide, our brothers on the wrong side of the freedom pond, keeping us in mind. We're thinking about you guys. You know, if you need to get on over here and enjoy the sweet taste of freedom, believe it or not, we'll probably be happy to have you. All right, guys, if you haven't already, ring all the bells, poke all my buttons, do all the things. It's been a really solid week. Thanks for that. Sure, Finn Spin. Oh, are you a Dolphins guy? Gotcha. Fair enough. I don't know what we're thanking you, or you're thanking me for, but no problem, bro. No problem. Guys, have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble. I'm going to go do a little shooting. And first we're going to go to lunch with Hat and Boobs. And then I'm going to go do a little shooting, see my dad, hang out, do some stuff. Do some things, do some stuff. Stay out of trouble. Have a good weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't call for bail. Just because I don't feel like paying for your bail. You got to learn your lesson. All right, guys. We'll see you Monday morning at 10 a.m. here at youtube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. Stay out of trouble. You've been an attentive audience. I've been Hat and Beard. Till then, bonga bonga. Frig off.